Hello, welcome to Get Your Mind On. I'm Lori Stoss. I've had a lot of opportunity to do many interviews, and I asked two questions. What is your mission, and what motivates you every day? So when you think about those questions, I get lots of answers I want to make a difference. And so I go, great, you want to make a difference. And the next questions then are, in what areas? And why do you want to make a difference? And how do you want to make a difference? Well, that's when I get the pauses. That's when I get that I want to make a difference. And then I drill down and ask people, well, why do you want to make a difference? And they stop and pause. And so really I want you to think about today is when we think about making a difference, we all have a purpose in life. We all are here for a reason. And sometimes we get caught up in our busy schedules every day and doing lots of things. And we think about, what are we doing every day and what is that leading up to? Well, it's interesting because lots of people tell me, gosh, you're so busy, and that just drives me crazy. And yes, I'm busy, but I choose to be busy because really it's all about what impact am I making? It's what I want to do because it's things that are making an impact. That's how I make a difference. So I have to stop myself and evaluate every day what I'm doing and is that aligning to my goal of making a difference? So let's step back and think about that first is, if you say, I want to make a difference, what does that mean? So let's think about why you might want to make a difference. For some people, when I hear answers, it's really about, gosh, I really want to help people. For someone else, it might be because, especially in the healthcare industry, I hear, well, because my, sister had diabetes and I saw what she struggled with, so I really am passionate about that, or someone passed away. So it could be a heart piece. For some people, the why is a justice piece. I really believe in this and I feel our country is broken or our city is broken around this and I really want to make a difference because there's lots of people, suffering. Or it could be an intellectual why is that it's just not working. The system is broken. I want to change it. So there's a lot under that why piece. So I think really when we think about the why, we really have to understand why do you want to make a difference? Then the next area under that might be in what area. Obviously those two tie together. In what area do you want to make a difference? So when people say I want to help people, they really have to drill down a little bit to the why do they want to do it, but in what area? Because it can get kind of broad. And I was teaching a class on mission and calling for quite some time, for a few years. And that was the hardest piece for people to really get their arms around is, well, how do I do this? I know I want to help people. And I maybe know I'm interested in diabetes health, or I'm interested in elderly, or I'm interested in young kids. But then it was like, what do I really do? What's my platform for that information? So I think it's what areas is really most important that you got to get a little clearer on that. And then the next piece is the how. How do I do that? How do I implement that into my day? How do I implement that into my work? Now, it might be that you don't get to make a difference every day in your work because it isn't maybe aligned to maybe your heart or your goal. Hopefully it is, because that's when true engagement happens. But if not, you're going to have to seek that out somewhere else, whether that's in your church, whether that's in your, in your community, nonprofit organization, wherever that may be. You need to really think about how you're going to go about that. So when we think about that, that's really important. And when we think about the how, all of us are different. We all bring something in a different strengths area. So when we had that mission and calling class that I was teaching, I think a lot of people go, well, I'm not that leader. I can't start something from scratch, and I'm not an entrepreneur, and I don't know this, and I don't have the money. And I'd stop them and say, first, let's go back to who you are as a person. How are you going to help? You have the heart to change something, right? You want to make a difference. You have the heart to change something. You know the content. Your how has to be your how. You have to think about what it is for you. It could be that your how is behind the scenes, that you're the one helping doing some of the implementation of something. It might be the one being the advocate and speaking to others about it and carrying the flag and making change and just raising awareness about the issue for some of you. For someone else, it might just be something in silence. It might be that you're praying, or that you're supporting, or that you're just promoting peace within That could be a way. It's more of a silent support. For others of you, it might be an intellectual area where you're intellectually helping people think of maybe writing regulations or advocacies or those kinds of things. Grant writing could be another way. So there's lots of ways to accomplish the how. All of this really depends on you. It depends on what you want to accomplish. So for me, when I am asked about my mission every day, my mission is making people better than they ever thought they would be in their own way. Now that sounds personal, one-on-one, and I do a lot of organizational work. So people say, well, why do you do that? Well, why I do that is because I know that our society today is full of pain. It's full of anguish. We have way too many divorces. We have way too much drinking and smoking and eating and spending money and all of those things that absorb us. And I know that that happens because we spend 75% of our life at work. And many people don't like their work. We only have a third of our population engaged in their work every day. So when you think of all that conceptually, we go home then because we're numbing ourselves because we spend most of our time maybe doing things that we don't love to do. Now I'm generalizing, of course. There's some of us who love what we do and some of you have found that for you. But many people are in pain every day because they don't maybe have a great manager. They themselves haven't even discovered what they do well. They maybe don't have a leader that believes in them. Whatever it might be, to me, that's where the pain occurs. So when I think about me making a difference every day, it's helping each of those people know what they do well so they can feel empowered and they can make the decisions themselves. But many times I work with leaders and managers because I want them to have their heart and their soul into what they do best every day for that organization that they're standing for. That's when it makes a difference to everybody else, because if we can do it at a leadership level, at an organizational level, and they know what they do best every day, they can help others get to their best. So that's really when I look at my mission and how I can make a difference, I need to know that I'm doing that. Now, one last piece to think about is how do you know you're making an impact? Well, that's a little bit harder. How can you measure that success? Well, feedback, of course. When that happens, sometimes we get the feedback from others. So that's just really a piece that you have to just know when you've left your mark. For positive charge this week, 1, are you here to make a difference? 2, why? Why are you here to make a difference? And what is your content? 3, how are you going to go about doing that? And 4, what is your measurement of success in knowing that you're leaving your mark? We are all here for a purpose and we're here to make a difference. So think this week about what it is for you. What's your content? What's your why? What's your how? And how you can make an impact. It's important for all of us to make a difference every day, but it has to be in your own way. Thanks for joining us today, and remember to get your mind on.